Our Crestwood coach conversation brought to you by Wilson Custom Tree Service. We're with head coach Skip Eckhardt. And last Friday night, your guys ended up with the first win of the season, 14-12 win over North Fayette Valley. Hard-fought ball game, pretty even-Steven ball game most of the way, and your kids got it done in the end. How'd they do it?
We just made a play and had a turnover. And as I said, that North Fayette is very physical. We played a bunch of physical people the first 3 games, and they come out. They got a lot of older guys that get after you and smash you in the mouth. So it was a very physical game, and we made a play, and stopped them and ran the clock out and had a fumble that we got in the fourth quarter. So we're lucky enough to get out of there. But they are tougher than nails, and they're going to win a lot of ball games.
And let's go to that turnover. It was the first turnover your defense was able to force this year. Came at the great time, and it came on a 40-yard run. That kind of goes to show that you got to play to the whistle because eventually good things can happen, right?
Well, we had a DN that was on the opposite side that ran all the way down there and was in on the play. There was no technique. It was just said, I don't want to lose. And he ran all the way down there and got in it. From the backside, defensive end, ran all the way across 40 yards plus another 15 to get across. So, that's something that speaks loudly of that young man.
No doubt about it. And offensively, Carter Henry was Carter Henry last week.
I mean, he's one of the better players around. I mean, the line blocks for him, and he's just a tough kid. He sticks his nose in there. So, he's a good ball player. We got a bunch of good ball players, and it just so happens that they're giving us that, and we'd like to get the load off him a little bit, but got to do what it takes, and he steps up and does a great job for us.
And you were able to move the football up pretty well. Is that a sign that your offensive line is kind of gelling and improving week by week as well?
The biggest problem is we're moving it a lot, but, you got to finish. We're terrible finishing, so there's stress in the finishing, that red zone. Man, we start at the 15, go all the way down there at first and something, and we kick ourselves in the butt. We're wide open. We don't throw it good enough, or we stumble and fall. Stupid penalties. We got to finish. Doesn't matter if you get yards. That many yards, you got to score 4 or 5 touchdowns. So we got to emphasize that. I hadn't done a good enough job of that, so we'll get that fixed.
And is it just those little things that you talk about that will lead you to finishing those drives?
It's like everything, that. It's just simple things like, we stress on clean up your locker, clean up paper, don't trip on it and fall and stub your toe. Just that kind of thing. Your mentality is that you're not going to get beat. You're going to finish. And the importance of, hey, here we are, red zone, can't come away without scoring.
And now you're in an unusual position this week. Independence notified you this week due to a COVID-19 exposure that they have called off their football games for this Friday night. Where does that put you guys?
Well, right now we'll probably just have a bye week, kind of like in the NFL or college now. I mean, it's kind of late to try to find anything, and do you really want to go somewhere where you don't know what's happening? You know what I mean? So it looks like we'll have a bye week. We'll get ready and hopefully everything stays good and everybody can keep playing and, be safe.
And how does that change your next couple of days of practice? Of course, most coaches do their pregame on Thursday and have the game day on Friday. What are you going to do practice-wise these next couple of days with a likely bye week this week?
Probably cut down a little of the time, but still going to go out and get after it pretty good. Might have a little, 10, 11 play of pretty well smacking a little bit, and then get out of there on Friday, and finish there because I don't really come in on Saturday and run and get the kinks out and watch film then, so the boys have the rest of the day off. So probably we won't come in Saturday, and after Friday they can go get healthy and then ready to go. And it's going to be a tough stretch run coming up. We got New Hampton, Waukon, and Owine, so there ain't no piddling around. They're good ball teams, and we'll get ready.
And is the reason that you were thinking about doing a little bit of a full contact scrimmage, does that keep your kids fresh instead of having that game day? You want to keep your kids solid and kind of in that game-like atmosphere, even though you won't have a game this week?
Any change with kids, what happens. It's just like used to have these in-service days, and if you didn't, I'd bring them in at 7 and we'd walk through and then have breakfast because they're kids, they'll lay in bed. And anytime you change that thing, just like New Hampton a few years ago, we started the game early as a power, and the kids got out for a couple hours. Then we went to New Hampton to the rain, and any little change, that's why school and that bing, bing, bing keeps them going. So we got to get after like we're going to play a ball game for a few plays.
All right, Coach. Well, enjoy the bye week this week. Keep your kids healthy, and best luck as you prep for your next opponent next week.
Well, thank you very much. And like I said, everybody enjoy it and stay safe.
This is our Crestwood Coach Conversation, brought to you by Wilson Custom Tree Service.